Hi everyone, welcome to another Hatton's Model Railways live stream, and today I thought I'd show you a brand new release that we've got in that's something a little different than the UK railways that we see a lot on our streams. This has got to be one of Europe's most scenic rail journeys, the Glacier Express in Switzerland. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the history, show you the train set and the train packs that we have available right now for you engaged modelers out there. Or if you're fancying a project that's a little bit different, this is a great way to get started with a brand new layout idea for a really good price too. So if you have any questions regarding what's being shown on today's stream, have a look at the link in the description where I've put all the information on the sets and the railway that are available. But we'll be covering a bit of the history and some info on the sets too. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Glacier Express, it's a railway that operates through the Alps in Switzerland, and it operates from Zermatt to St. Moritz, which are two ski resorts and really good tourist destinations in the Alps. In fact, I have got a map here of the railway system as you can see it. So this literally goes through the centre of the highest mountains in Europe, in some cases directly through them in the tunnels that are on the line, as well as some of these steep gradients. It hugs the side of the valleys, crosses them on rather steep viaducts in some cases, but also climbs to the top of the hills and gives you some absolutely stunning views, which are really shown off by the panorama coaches that you see on the screen here. So this is right at the top. This is Oberalp, I believe, which is one of the highest points on the line. And you can see there it goes right through the mountains with those distinct panoramic coaches that you can see there. Now, the line itself is built to meter gauge, so it is a narrow gauge railway. It's about 3'3" for those of you who do feet and inches, and it's 181 miles in length. So the whole journey actually takes around 8 hours. Even though it's known as an express train, the Glacier Express is also known as the slowest express journey in the world. It's made really for tourists with the panorama coaches, so you can enjoy the full views of the Alps that you travel through, whether in the summer or the winter, which really shows the scenery at its finest, as you can see here. Although the lines opened a little earlier, the first Glacier Express service started in 1930, and it was a combination of 3 different companies operating that. But now it's operated purely by the Glacier Express company itself, which is a division of the RHB, which is one of the largest railway operators in Switzerland. So it's quite different to a lot of the railways we're used to, especially if you're a UK railway enthusiast or UK railway modeler. It's a slightly different gauge. Whilst there is a lot of tunnels and viaducts, it does have some very steep sections too. And out of those 181 miles, 15 of those are actually on the rack and pinion system. So the locomotive has a cog in the centre and the rails have a rack in them, so it provides extra grip on some of the steepest sections of the line. As we can see in the photos there, the railway is overhead electric. So the locos have pantographs to power them. As with a lot of the Swiss railway system, electrification really is the mode of transport to get you around. So whilst other services do operate on these lines, the most famous is the Glacier Express. It's actually a World Heritage Site. A lot of the railway through the Albula mountain ranges is actually designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That shows you just how important this local area is to the history and the scenery of the world. So it's great that you can get a full train that operates through there too. So that is something that's really worth taking home. And of course, now you can get everything you need in a full set too. So the 3 items I've got here, this is the Glacier Express starter train set. This is £180 and you get absolutely everything you need to get you started in here. You get the GE44 locomotive and you get 2 of the panorama coaches for you to add to your layout. You get a circular track, which works out at just over 1.5 foot by 3 foot. You can expand that with Carto's Unitrack system, which I'll show you some of in a second, and further rolling stock packs too. You can either buy the 4-pack of coaches, as you see here, for £87, sorry, or you can buy the loco and 3 more coaches for £108. And this is also great if you do have a trip on the Glacier Express and you've already got an N-gauge set up, you can put this on any N-gauge layout that you have out there. The track is exactly the same gauge with the representation of the meter gauge track there. I'll just show you some of the stock close up. And you can see here, this is the GE44 locomotive that you get in the set. As with the coach behind, you've got the full NEM style rapido couplings there, so they will couple to each other and to other locomotives in your collection. They do have working front lights. They don't have a digital capacity on there, but at the same time, you do have a plug and play PCB board change if you did want to swap those over to digital operation. You've got a fully posable pantograph, separately fitted details, including the windscreen wipers and the brake pipe on the front of the locomotive too. So even for quite a well-priced set, you are getting a lot of detail in here with the track, the locomotive, and the carriages that you get there too. Just to show you the Unitrack system, you might not be familiar with this, but we do stock a wide range of this for N-gauge and HO gauges, and this comes pre-ballasted. So you don't need to worry about adding the ballast to this, and it just slots together too. You'll just hear a rather satisfying click when this goes together, and that then just slots, if I get it lined up right. There you go. Absolutely fine all together. So you do get some quite tight curves, but that replicates the real life railway, and these locomotive and coaches will go over that too. So we have got the full Unitrack system available, and even if you're not looking at picking up the Glacier Express set and you are an N-gauge modeler, have a look at the Carto Unitrack system, because it's a really good system that you can put together. The other thing is the controller is slightly different to what we're used to. It's more like an old-fashioned tram controller, I think, really. If you've ever been on some old-fashioned trams out there, maybe in Blackpool or at the tramway museums across the world, you'll find that it's actually got more of a handle that you turn here, which I find quite satisfying personally. It makes it feel like I'm driving a train more than driving a controller, but that works in exactly the same way as you would expect your standard analog controller. Just instead of turning the dial, we are indeed turning the handle for the throttle there instead. But that comes with a UK plug. You get the standard 2 wires that come out of that and plug into a track connection too. So if you've already had a UK train set, such as a Hornby train set or an N-gauge Graham Farish train set, there's absolutely no difference here, apart from the different style of track and, of course, the Swiss rather than the UK theme. But this is a really easy way to get started. If you've been thinking about making a new project, something a little bit different, it really does look different than a lot of UK railways out there. The huge mountains sprawling behind it, especially sort of the highest in the Alps where the Glacier Express passes through. You've got some great opportunities not only to build up your scenery, but also to make a nice layout there. You can build it with the basic starter train set, but at the same time, they do have some rather large intermediate passing stations on the network. And of course, there are other trains that run on the system too. So if you did want to do a bit of shunting or make a larger station, you can add further pieces that we have available. We do have some supporting items also. If you're looking at building up a diorama, we have a selection of European and alpine trees and flocks, so you can really build up the scenery there. Of course, we've got the model railway snow too, and a lot of the snow and ice effects that you'll see mainly in the winter months, but you can see them for quite some months through in the alpine regions. And we do have some great back scenes showing the Alps on there. So again, check out our back scene video if you need a little bit more guidance on that. There's a link if you check on our channel, they'll be there in our skills casts. But you can really start to build up a scene here for not that much money at all. When you've got the full set available for 180 with the loco and the rolling stock that you need. If you've been on this railway and you want something to commemorate it by, or if you're just thinking of a new project completely different to what you've done before, it really is worth a bit of a look at a different setup. And you are absolutely spot on there, AD. This controller can be used on 00 gauge, and it is available separately too. If you click that link in the description, you'll see the full information on this set and get a link through to the controller. Pretty much everything you see here is available as an individual item, with the rolling stock available in a train pack, the track that you can get separately too, but you do get it for a bargain price if you buy it all as one set. With the rolling stock pack at £108 alone, and you're paying £180 for the train set, you really are getting all the components you need in that pack for a bargain price. And maybe it's a great way to get started with a little set over Christmas too. It's something that you can easily put on the dining room table, with the Unitrack there having the ballasted bottom, so it is a little bit better to put down on tables and temporary surfaces. So I'll just show you some of those images again of the railway to give you a little bit of inspiration. And as we mentioned, it is quite different to those that we saw that we see in the UK, with it being meter gauge as well. That's something we don't really see in the UK, is meter gauge railways, but they are very popular in continental Europe and the rest of the world. These modern locomotives, the GE44s, the free version, was created in the early 1990s. I believe there was 12 of them built, all for use on the Glacier Express. So there's various different liveries available of those. Indeed, the 2 liveries in the set and the train pack are different colour schemes that you can get. But let's take a look at that one that you do get in the set one more time, there with the Glacier on tour livery, with Zermatt and St. Moritz, the 2 destinations of the line, as we mentioned before. So have a closer look at this set. It might not be something you're used to, but it's ideal if you are looking for a brand new project with something a little bit of a different flavour than you're used to. If you want to expand it, we have further rolling stock, we have further track, we have more controllers, we have the scenery you need to build up an alpine scene in N-Gauge 2. So have a look at that link in the description for more information. If you have any more questions on the railway or the sets that we have available right now from Carto, please do put them in the comments after the video, or get in touch with our customer experience team, who would be more than happy to help you out too. Otherwise, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channels and Facebook page for more Skillscast videos, more real railway profiles, and of course, all the latest model railway news too. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.